I feel like we need more LGBTQ love stories in our mainstream. We just do, right? I am telling you with my hand on my heart, I have never been asked the volume of questions about about love scenes of a heterosexual nature, of which I have shot many.
Beautiful. It pleases me you struck up a friendship together.
What is it? Something? Nothing?
That is the kind of hair I would have killed for.
Oh my God, thank you so much. That is a very
what amazing hair. So do you love it or does it drive you nuts?
I love it now, but growing up it was a battle because I grew up in the late 90s, early 2000s when it was very like, thin, straight, very like Kate Moss.
Right, so you're there with you're there hurting your shoulders with the straightener the whole time.
Absolutely. I got some good upper arm strength though with all the all that stuff. But yeah, no, I definitely learned to embrace it now. It's been good.
Good. Good for you.
Thank you so much. What a lovely way to start. So jumping right into Ammonite, one of the things I was really curious about your experience doing press is that a lot of the conversation when the film was first out was about the sex scenes. And I wondered, was that something that you felt was distracting from the narrative of the film, or did you, because I know you also openly talked about it quite a lot, which I think was quite good, to have that openness around it. But did you feel any kind of tension with the focus on the sex maybe rather than the character development or the story?
I definitely feel a sort of a duty to serve Mary Anning still, I think now, and of course the story is so much about her and her remarkable achievements that were unsung, unknown, reappropriated by men, taken from her wrongfully. And so I didn't feel, oh God, let me, get away from talking about the sex scenes and come back to that. But what I definitely found really striking, and I think I'm really still learning about this actually, what I found striking is that people seem to talk about the love scenes in the film in ways that are much more focused because it's two women. And I am telling you with my hand on my heart, I have never been asked the volume of questions about about love scenes of a heterosexual nature, of which I have shot many in my life. And so that to me, that's a conversation. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because I feel like we need more LGBTQ love stories in our mainstream. We just do, right? And what I feel is really special about Ammonite, and I can say this because I'm proud of it, very proud of it, is that our love story is between two people who happen to be women. And so therefore by not sensationalizing their love, by shrouding it in anything that is forbidden or fearful or with any degree of hesitation or secrecy, there's no shame around this part of our narrative. It just is two women who love each other. And for me, I really hope that contributes to the evolution and progression of how audiences view LGBTQ people and their relationships by not sensationalizing it, by not making it shrouded in some element of shame or fear, but just by normalizing it completely.
Right. I think it's the same thing that they talked about with Schitt's Creek, about how there's an LGBTQ story in there.
I'm doing a Q&A with Dan Levy tonight because really? I admire him so much for exactly that. And you're right, there's an LGBTQ story right in there that just is.
It just is, exactly. And I think what makes Ammonite so special as well is it is a story kind of about chance, right? There's so many things that just happen that feel as if it's fated. And what for me was quite interesting about that was that there isn't a lot known about her sexuality in real life. So the decision to make it a queer story, as opposed to assuming that she was heterosexual and just never had a partner, I felt that was an interesting way of reframing the narrative of how we view people and sexuality.
Well, exactly. I completely agree. And, if Frances Lee had chosen to pair Mary with a man, no one would have commented at all about the fact that we had rewritten history in that way, potentially. You know, we haven't rewritten history at all. There is no historical documentation about Mary Anning's personal life, love life. There just isn't anything available, you know. So sorry, I want to go back to what you were just saying, because it was really interesting. But it's so interesting though to talk about this stuff, you know, because like I feel like it is a really good opportunity to talk about it in a responsible way that hopefully adds to this conversation. It's such an important conversation.
Absolutely. I think,
and
also,
just because I'm a cisgendered woman, because I'm a cisgendered woman, like, you know, I really enjoy that does not make me exempt from contributing in the way that it shouldn't make anyone exempt. If we're able to contribute in a compassionate and sincere, honest way that is supportive. Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, I think the fact that so much of her contributions were left out of history and that they were taken over by men, and you look at how certain people are boxed out of society, and you can kind of trace all these different points. And so for you as a woman kind of moving forward in your career in Hollywood, has that been something that you are hyper aware of? Because women aging in Hollywood is a totally different conversation from how men age in Hollywood. So I wonder what that experience has been like for you as you move through these different roles that you're taking on in your career.
Well, I think I'm definitely feeling more and more of a compulsion to more than ever sort of stand in my truth, you know, which I think, which is not always easy to do, you know. And there are comments made about how women look that are still extraordinarily appalling, and the same comments are not made about men, how a man is aging, whether a man is fat or thin, or, you know, I mean, it just drives me crazy. Why do we live in a world that even has to comment on a woman's body at all? Why is that stuff important? So I definitely am feeling, you know, I feel empowered at the moment, actually, because I do think this is really a time where it's not just about women being able to speak up for themselves, speak out, but it's a time where I feel that women's voices are being really, truly heard in a much more mindful way. And I am aware of a sense of duty I feel to use my own words very mindfully, so that a younger generation of women, younger actresses, younger people who are in public positions know that they can also use those words carefully and sensitively, but in a very powerful, significant way, because they are the ones who are going to change the world. You know, my generation can keep leading the charge. Those guys, they're the ones who are just going to make everything extraordinary for everyone. And so I feel this kind of like almost godmother role at the moment a little bit. And hopefully just, if I just keep saying these things and also remaining aware, it's not about being a cracked record. It's about evolving with how everyone is thinking and learning and shifting and changing. And that in turn allows me to feel good about standing in my own truth. And I don't fucking care what people say or think, you know. There's always got to be that element as well of just like, you can't listen to what other people say, because if you do, then you're altering what you believe and what you feel confident about communicating.